Er,
Hello and welcome to our live stream of Curse of Strahd, presented by the Love of Crits. I'm level 1 Dungeon Master, Hunter AU. Just giving you a little bit of background before we get going into here. This is a live stream of the Wizards of the Coast adventure Curse of Strahd. Majority of the maps I am using are coming from Demon Gund, as well as using Tailspire as our virtual tabletop program. Music, we are using Tailspire. Just going to go through, introduce some of our players. Let's start with Garion tonight.
Hello, that's me. I'm Garion. I go online by either Neureg King or Grand Mage Garion. I am playing our good old cleric Graves, cleric of the Graves, servant of the Lady of the Graves, grave digger, and amnesiac, who just got his first memory back after 2 months of having almost no memory, so that's exciting. see if I remember anything else. Probably not, but who knows?
Okay. Alex, you can go next.
Hi, that's me. I'm Alex. I'm also known as Barotheus on the internet. I play Herbert Lightforge, cleric of the Forge domain, loyal to Gond, the god of inventiveness. And he's, human dude who's a little brilliant, a little, socially awkward. But he likes to build things. So that's me. That's him.
Okay, and we'll go to Cole and then Josh to finish it off.
I am Cole. I go by Elok or Elok Leakim online. I'm playing Konerith, a cleric, Twilight cleric, follower of the goddess Selyun, the goddess of wanderers. And he's fairly young, fairly awkward, fairly fresh at all of this. Due to circumstances in his past, he has taken a vow of silence, so he never speaks vocally. He only ever speaks in his head because he is a Kaleshtar, so he can speak telepathically to people. So anytime he's holding conversation, it's only ever in their heads, just for context.
And Josh.
all right, I'm Josh. I go by Midget Man online mostly. I am playing Onyx tonight, a Warforged cleric in this kerfuffle of clerics. I am a cleric of Akari, who is a storm goddess. I am a Tempest cleric with a interesting hidden background that I guess you'll just have to stick around and see what that is. I'm really interested to see how our two party members came back to life last session. So, yeah.
Yes. So,
Nothing new for Graves.
so as we continue, it is important to note that this stream is considered an adult stream, more so because of the content within it, that it is a Gothic horror campaign. We do breach subjects, ergo last session, where we broached the subject of the fate of Walter, an infant. So we do warn you that some of the things may be graphic that we go over. Without further ado, we are going to do a recap of this week. We have a little bit different, as when we were preparing the video, we realized that it was about 7.5 minutes long. And so Alex decided that it might be a good idea to kind of change things up this week.
Yeah, so we're going to do a little bit of a reading here. So once again, just another reminder that there are some very mature content, themes in this. So just be prepared. Welcome back, dear listeners. I'm glad you could join us once again as we recount our tale. Despite how dire the situation our ragged ritual masters found themselves in last time, it was about to get much worse. We find them in a dark ritual chamber, having just fled from a collapsing dungeon. 13 dark apparitions floating around the ritual chamber, chanting over and over, "One must die. One must die." Graves called upon his thaumaturge. Graves called upon Pharasma to sense the presence of undead, detecting nothing. Conereth was in too much shock and horror to react, while Onyx searched the room for another way out. Herbert turned his attention to the great crank and wheel, determining it could open the portcullis. Grave used his magic of thaumaturgy to raise his voice and call out to the dark figures, demanding answers. Although his purpose was primarily to distract from Herbert's actions. However, Graves' distraction was in vain, as these figures paid no heed to the cleric's words. Herbert's attempts to open the exit were less helpful, as the gate was too heavy and would take too much time to open. Unfortunately for our heroes, the act of trying to open the gate seemed to anger the figures as the chanting stopped. And after a brief silence, a new chant began. "Come, demon, we awaken thee. Come, demon, we awaken thee." Our heroes watched in horror as a mass of blood, gore, and bodies rose from the floor, and a dire fight broke out. The abomination of dead flesh dealt massive damage as it swung its appendages around, slaughtering the pup Lancelot mercilessly with a single blow. Conereth took a hit, but managed to stay on his feet, thanks to the protection of the twilight. Graves used his eyes of the grave and confirmed that this mound of flesh was an undead abomination. And to the other's horror, Herbert was grappled by the monster and dragged inside the beast. Onyx tried to grab a candelabra to burn the creature, but found his diminished strength too debilitating. As he did so, Onyx spotted Herbert's boot and pointed it out to Graves, who tried to pull the Tinkerer out, but instead found himself prone before the beast. Conereth, in an act of desperation, grabbed the corpse of poor Lancelot and threw it upon the altar, letting the dog's blood fall into the basin. As he did so, he realized Lancelot was still clinging to life, and in a shocking turn of events, found himself making the horrifying and difficult decision to slit the poor bleeding pup's throat to appease the dark figures. But alas, it had no effect. Within the horrid mass of corpses, Herbert discovered an infant, Walter, with glowing tendrils connected it to the flesh monster, as if Walter were some sort of power source. Herbert began trying to free the infant, cutting one of the tendrils with a sharp tool. Meanwhile, Graves fell atop the altar by the abomination, but was quickly rescued by Onyx's final spell of the day. Onyx then retreated to the balcony, hoping to use the smaller space to his advantage, but the beast had other targets. Conereth struck the monster. However, in retaliation, it brought down two massive appendages towards the silent cleric and killed Conereth where he stood. Graves tried to roll off the back of the altar after searing the beast with sacred flames. In doing so, he recovered a new memory of learning to fall off of a horse as a child. As Graves cried, "I remember!" he was struck once more by the monstrosity and fell unconscious once again. Inside the monster, Herbert realized he hadn't enough time, and with a desperate prayer to Gond, he grabbed hold of the infant and unleashed Gond's might to turn undead from within the belly of this beast. As Herbert channeled his divine gift, his body grew hot and burned the flesh around him. As this happened, he heard a voice inside his head say one simple word. Interesting. Perhaps God saw fit to grant Herbert great might, as with a flash of holy light the creature was destroyed from within, charred flesh strewn about the room. Herbert then looked to the infant in his arms, and as it clutched his finger, Herbert realized Walter was long dead. Looking up, he saw the battered body of Conereth. With no doubt, he was also gone. And Herbert began to weep. Onyx rushed towards Graves, only to reach the amnesiac seconds too late, as Graves was, too, passed from this world. Meanwhile, Conereth found himself standing in a familiar place, his hometown. He saw fires burning from the drow attacks so long ago, the Dark Elves themselves returning to the caves with their prisoners. As Conereth rushed after them, he quickly became lost and terrified as the drow now seemed to be hunting him down. As he ran, the Dark Elves began closing in. Conereth knew they would find him, and he would not stand a chance. Suddenly, he found a shaft of light. A man holding a rope reached down to him. He spoke in a tongue Conereth did not recognize. Nimmst du unser Gift? Conereth took the rope in his hand. Likewise, Graves found himself elsewhere. He woke under a marble ceiling, finding a burial shroud upon his face. Just like 2 months prior, he found himself awakening in a coffin after having been laid to rest in a mausoleum. Suddenly, taking the shroud off his face, he found the door locked. When suddenly, from the shadows, undead horrors began to rise, closing in on Graves, who was unable to fight back. His only protection was the moonlight above, which drove the undead back, but it was fading fast. The undead were now upon him, grasping at his burial cloths. Suddenly, Graves saw a robed woman with white hair appear in the moonlight. She carried a lantern, which she placed on the floor before extending a hand to Graves and saying, Nimmst du unser Gift? Graves took her hand. Conereth now found himself back in the ritual chamber. As his eyes opened and breath returned to his lungs, Herbert, relieved to see that his friend had survived, he shouted the news to Onyx. But Conereth, traumatized beyond words, sunk into himself and curled against the altar. As Onyx was laying Graves in an honorable burial position near the other side of the altar, Graves' eyes also shot open, and Onyx fell back into the water in shock. Recovering, Onyx tested Graves for a pulse and breath, but found none. Graves assured Onyx that this was normal for him. Despite those facts, he was not a true undead. Yet neither was he quite alive. The clerics began collecting themselves, eager to provide Rose, Thorn, and now Walter proper burials. However, as they gathered their wits, the room began to rumble and quake. This house is not done with them yet. Happy fun times, everyone.
And
I
with
greatly
that,
enjoyed dying.
That was pretty crisp, wasn't it?
Crisp.
Oh, I'm in the wrong map. So with that, we do return to our clerics. The last thing that happened when we left our faithful heroes was them hearing the chanting starting once more. This time, a very simple phrase, and only saying it twice, rather than the repeated phrasing that they had heard over and over again. This time, they just heard, "The end comes. Death be praised. The end comes. Death be praised."
I don't
And
like
in
it.
that moment, everything began to shake. The chanting starts once more. Rocks begin to fall from the ceiling. And you know that this house will not give you up lightly. At this moment, we are going to be entering into a skill challenge. For anyone that's not familiar with the rules of a skill challenge, the goal of our players is to gain a number of successes before they get 3 failures on challenges. This is meant to be more narrative, like you would see in like a movie, where it's going to be kind of like what you would see with cutscenes and things like that. So I'll be presenting different challenges to the players, and it's up to them with their ingenuity to hopefully find ways out and be able to utilize what they have at their disposal. With that being said, you guys realize that with the roof beginning to cave in, your only hope of escaping is either to open the portcullis, or to hopefully be able to open the portcullis either with the wheel or to be able to lift it up.
Well, we don't know if it'll hold up, but I think we can definitely get it started at least with the crank.
Okay. If you are doing the crank, it will take an athletics check, and it will be a DC of 12.
Can we see the room?
Oh,
yeah.
I didn't invite you guys over. I'm sorry.
Also, you should check your messages, Reno. On Discord.
35. Holy. There we go. I turned it back on.
I found out halfway through that I can mute you, so that's what I did.
Yeah, that's what I did, so that we didn't hear the clicking while Alex was doing.
Sorry
about
we'll
that.
split it up.
Yeah. All right. Skill challenge.
Alright, so the place is shaking. There's chanting. Our teammates just came back from the life. All is good. Or came back to life.
Normal day. So this is Dungeons and Dragons.
This is
Totally normal.
Graves will probably just quickly see what's going on, look over towards Conera, knowing that he's not strong. Onyx and Herbert have had their strength sapped. Be like, Conereth, we must hurry. You are the strongest, I believe. Can you get this crank started?
Conereth is not there. I'll say, you're gonna have to snap him out of it. He doesn't even know the ceiling's coming down right now. He's curled up in a ball.
Graves walks over, slaps his face, and is like, friend, we need to go or we're going to die again. I can roll persuasion if you want.
Or intimidate, whichever one you're going for.
The slap is mostly just to get his attention.
You don't necessarily have to convince him. It's more so just
it also wasn't like a hard slap. I'm kind of just like, friend, come on.
You see, he looks up and there's just tears that have been streaming down his face, and you can tell that they were there before you slapped him. And he just gets up and runs over and starts reefing on the crank as hard as he can.
Okay, and for this skill challenge, this will be the only time that you're able to use the athletics skill. And other people can use the athletics skill, but so that will be a DC 12.
Each person can only use one skill once.
Yes, and in addition, Conereth won't be able to do anything at the next challenge. She won't be able to be the person to
Yes.
take the lead.
I would like to assist him here by, as he's turning the wheel, I want to grab one of these, whether it's a statue, I'd ask for help, but grab a statue so we can shove it under the portcullis.
Oh,
Kind of keep it propped
That
up
way
if
it'll
need
keep
be.
it propped up. So even if it's not,
Yeah.
even if it's only 2 feet, it's something that we can slide under.
Yeah. Graves would definitely, seeing you do that, he'd give you a hand if you want.
I'll drop it to a DC 8 if you do that.
Cool.
So feel free to roll for me.
Hey,
Nice.
He succeeds. Conereth, you go over to this. You're just kind of completely out of it. You start cranking this. It starts slow, but as you get it up over the edge, you are able to crank it around. Once it starts, it's actually fairly easy to get going. Okay.
Help me pull the statue down. We just kind of throw it to the side so that if it comes down, we can still get out.
Yeah.
For sure. So that is 1 success.
So we rush through, choking on the water a little bit because there's a big dip where we have to almost go underneath the water.
Mm-hmm.
Then we get out.
Okay, I'm going to be pulling you guys to the next section of the
That's much easier than us hopping along.
Yeah, that's why I'm like, this one's going to be a bit more theater of the mind. So the next section.
People see things.
Is this a bad idea? I have a thought. I kind of want to, as we're running through, grab something from this room that looks like it might be important.
Okay.
I think I want to try and grab the thing that was in here because it seemed like it was very prominently placed.
Yeah.
Okay.
Did we actually check what it was? I forget.
Yes, you did. It is a single lock of auburn hair.
Yeah, I don't know what its significance is, but it looks important, and we're taking off, so I think I'm just gonna grab it just for the heck of it.
Okay. Does anyone else grab anything as you're running through the room?
No.
The only things I'd be tempted to be like that amber, but that gives me the creeps, and the dragon egg. But I'm like, what are we gonna do if a dead dragon?
Yeah.
Cole is interested. Conereth would not be.
Yeah. I feel like Graves is a lot more
guys.
leave these evil things here.
I mean, they want them here, so I want to take them out.
Okay. So you guys come to a crossroads. You see that straight ahead of you is the pit trap. To your right, it was you know that different ghouls and stuff had been in there, but you had not fully explored the area, so you are unsure if there are other troubles there.
We did.
Do you guys attempt to cross the pit trap to where you kind of know you've cleared everything, or do you move to unknown territory?
We passed through this whole area here.
You did pass through there. Yes.
There's a hallway we didn't go down yet.
Yeah.
I know Graves is not able to jump that. I don't think you guys are if you're reduced strength either.
Correct.
Yeah. We should go the safe way. Safe.
Yeah. Safe. The
Which
non-jumping
one's the safe way?
The non-jumping way.
Up the stairs.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not risking a jump.
So I will need someone to roll me a perception check. Only one person can, though, whoever is leading the way.
And it can't be Conereth.
Say, Graves and Onyx have the best ones. Do you want to do it, Onyx, or do you want me to take this one?
Well, right now you're in the lead, so go for it.
Cool. Let's do it.
I was pulling up the rear. I'm winded, even though I don't breathe.
The +3 on this. It fell into the abyss, but 8.
8?
Okay. That is not quite high enough as you run this way, so feel free to follow him as he runs up here. As you round this corner, you suddenly hear a screech as a large creature comes up out of the ground. It it is open flesh as it goes, and it bites you. I will need Herbert. It looks like you were next in line. I need you to roll a dexterity saving throw.
Okay. Let's see. Dex saving
Close.
throw. Oh, there it is. 11.
Is there any plus?
That's it.
Okay.
Not dexterous.
So you are able to reach forward and you push Graves slightly out of the way. This animal misses most of its attack, and it doesn't deal nearly as much.
Okay.
But I still take some damage.
You take 6 piercing damage, but you are like you scream in pain, and you bring your you have a hammer, correct?
I have a sledgehammer right now.
Or sledgehammer? Okay.
Yeah.
Like a two-handed sledgehammer.
With the 11, you would be able to kind of just bring your hammer down and you smash the head of this creature. So it only does the 1 damage.
No.
Now
Wow.
that does count as 1 failure.
Dang.
So it's just 1 damage it does? Or
It
just
does
like the
6
one
damage.
attack? Just 1 attack, okay.
1 attack, yes.
Like, oh, sorry. Thank you, friend. I didn't see it there.
That's all right. Let's keep going.
Yep.
I'm at 4 HP now.
I'm at 11 because I had a full rest when I came back to life.
Okay, you guys are running forward. Is there anything you're looking for before you head back upstairs?
It's
The
from
house
just
is
bones.
Bury these
sinking?
bones?
No.
What about the bones?
Yeah, they asked us to bury them down here, but I'm like, I don't think we got time. We can bury you outside.
Yeah, we never found the family crypt
I mean,
thing.
do we?
Yeah.
Is
There's
this thing coming out
doors
any
over
second
here
right now,
that
or-
we found before. We just never went through them.
Yeah, I think those 2 doors are right next to each other, so we could check them both really quickly. I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it is by
So,
the stairs.
possible.
So
It's really close.
Yeah, it's really close to the stairs, so it's not like it's much of a detour.
Okay, so. Rocks are still crumbling from above. Onyx, you open this door. As you open this,
graves.
you see that there is
That was
a.
great, but
Oh, let's see.
Same
I'll just
one of us
reveal
opens
these.
the door.
As you
Oh.
both open them, you do see that there are crypts inside. The one right over here, it has a stone slab etched with the name Demov Durst.
Ooh.
Oh,
Wow.
Dimov's also dead.
Okay. In this one, you do see that this one, it's a stone slab that is off to the side. Let me open it so it actually shows. It's off to the side, and it has the name Walter Durst upon it, but the crypt is empty.
We can put Walter back in his spot.
In here, Conereth.
I mean,
This'll...
I have Walter.
Oh,
Is
Conereth
this-
did.
There is another hallway here, right? We just didn't go down it.
Yes.
I will try to gently lay
Yeah, the
Walter
center one.
in here.
Yeah.
Herbert, can you roll me a religion check?
Sure
It's going to
thing.
be a DC of 8. You guys are all clerics, so.
Okay, I need to roll a 3 or higher here.
You got this.
Natural 1.
Hey, yeah. Thanks for that.
Ah. It actually was. Ah.
I guide myself. Can I do that?
If you have luck points, you can.
You can add luck
I think
points
I
to
have
someone
luck.
else's
I
roll,
have
right?
to-
Correct.
I have at least 2, I think.
I
was
have
the DC?
2. It needs to be bumped up by 2.
Yeah, so I'll just use my luck points.
Okay, so you are about to put Walter in, and with the crumbling around, you see a rock falls, and you quickly pull the infant back and brush the rocks out of the way and place it in there and seal the crypt. As you seal it, you notice that within this room, the crumbling is less.
Oh, we could just stay here forever. Nope. But I'll-
Be entombed in here.
That would be
Walter.
entombed.
That counts as a success.
Where is my token go? There it is.
I guess I'll if it's a free action, I'll close the outside door as well.
Yeah, that's fine. We're not really in initiative.
Yeah.
Kind of like
Right.
you guys fought that entire creature without actually entering initiative. Okay. You're looking over here.
Yeah. See if there's also crypt down there. For Rose
You do
and
see
Thorn.
that this hallway opens and there are 2 more doors. You
There's
do
2 more
also, if
down
you
here.
look behind you, that there are 2 doors here.
Oh,
All
All
God.
right, everyone, check one door.
We went like straight
Back.
away from all of
Yeah,
the.
we're like Various down there. We just completely pass it when it's right by the entrance.
Okay. All right, let me deal with one door at a time here.
Yeah.
So, you open up this door, you see a sealed stone slab again, etched with the name Gustav Durst.
It's Gustav, not here.
His body is upstairs. There's
Yeah, we aren't dealing with him.
You
Well,
see
he was the children.
another
he made his choices.
stone slab. This
But I
one
guess
is
that it would mean the children of
this
the
one. A
opposite
stone
side.
slab is etched with the name Rosevalda Durst. Contains an empty coffin on a stone bier.
I found roses.
It's Konerth that has the children.
Yeah.
So Konerth, go that way.
And then Konerth is right here. And you see a stone slab etched with the name Thornbolt Durst. And it is
So-
also open.
Oh, there's 2 of them.
double coffin.
All right,
Um,
don't remember last. So that's Elizabeth.
I-
We don't care.
have a bag with
Yeah.
both of their remains, right? And they're
Yeah.
skeletons, so I don't know.
Yeah, and they've already been like wrapped.
Are they
in
wrapped
such a
separately,
Graves-
or were they together?
Yes, they were wrapped separately. Graves
Okay.
did his.
I do
regular-
remember. I do
Uh,
remember it. I think being stated that you guys were separating him.
Okay, good.
Graves knows
So
what he's
Konerth-
doing.
Quickly lays down the remains of Thorn in the casket and does a quick, symbol or whatever, and whispers, or says in his head, "I'm sorry, we failed you," and then does the same for Rose.
Okay. Roll me a religion check. This one won't count towards success or failure. Okay.
Nice.
As you place them, you do feel that the shaking of the rooms lessens slightly, but the main hallways, it's still it feels like that this house has taken on a mind of its own and it's angry.
I make a rude gesture as I leave the door that I opened.
It is Elizabeth Durst.
Yeah.
Um,
If only we had time. I do have ceremony, but that's an hour to cast on one corpse.
I mean, we could do it
Okay.
after, maybe.
Yeah, if we can get back in, then I can come and make sure that
Okay.
I turn into
you
undead.
guys, as it's crumbling, you guys will have to head to the upper floor again. So let me switch you guys over. Do. Okay. You're going to see your tokens disappear.
Ah, I'm dead.
I now.
I've ascended the stairs.
boneyard.
Okay, so you guys do enter into here. Let me just.
Yeah, we're upstairs, right?
Yeah, you
Yes.
have to bring the green bar up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
mine was like set all the way down to the first
Yeah.
floor too. So
Yeah, mine was as well.
there we go. Okay. As you guys enter into here, sorry, I'm pulling up my secondary notes. Oh, who left?
Oh no!
Oh no. Must be that
Let's
terrible
see.
Canadian internet, right?
You just got to open up the window, let the internet come in. Comes from trees, don't you know?
I've heard that the internet is a series of tubes, actually.
Ah.
They're at the bottom of the ocean.
You still gotta open the window, let it in, then close it again to keep it trapped inside.
Right. Yes. You got to let all the internet in and then close it so you have it all.
Exactly.
Okay. Okay, so as you enter in to these floors, this is very different from when you had initially left it. Rather than being a run-down home, this appears to still be run down, but heavy smoke has filled from the top of the ceiling, so that where it had originally been 8 to 9 foot ceilings, it now feels like it's only 7 foot tall. The smoke is dark. The wood is creaking around you.
The room's getting smaller, or
No, it feels like the house is shifting, like a tree in a storm.
Oh. Is anyone game to try and grab the maid's corpse too? Because like she kind of deserves a burial as well, in my opinion.
Yeah. If she's right there, we could grab her.
Is she like a whole?
Isn't she like in here?
Yeah, she's like right
Yes.
here.
I don't know, like how. Can we just grab the trunk? I think probably would be the wisest.
Yeah, you can grab the trunk.
Yeah, me and Konerv could carry whatever because we're the strongest right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you want to. My strength's 11. It's not awful, but it's not great.
So you've 11 right now.
guys-
You are higher than me right now. Then.
Okay, yeah, I'll grab the other end of the trunk and I'll motion to Konerith to try and grab the other.
Okay. I will need an athletics check. Herbert, you were the last one to do a check, so I will have Konerith
Can't do
Oh, right,
athletics,
no,
though.
he already did athletics. So Herbert, we'll have you do a athletics check.
Okay. Well, that's a fat 0 plus 0 to this. So
At 20, right?
hey, we
At
got
19.
Hey.
19, pretty good.
So you lift
Yeah.
up this chest and you see that there are handles, and it's surprisingly lighter than you expected. So you almost feel like you could carry this yourself just over your shoulder.
All right, I just I'll sort of like just grab it with one hand and just sort of tuck it close to my body and start dragging it, and then race off after everybody.
Okay.
I would probably lead the way at this point
Yeah, that's fine.
because they're worried about the body, and I don't care about the body. Let's get the
Yeah.
fuck out.
If we see any doors ahead of us that we need to get through that are closed, thaumaturgy them open.
Ooh, that's right. Yep.
Let's see.
Do we see a glimpse of Rose and Thorn in their room?
As you look, you do not see anything in there.
Stairs, right?
Awesome.
Yeah.
So we gotta go down this
Oh.
stairs.
I don't know where I landed.
I think
Yeah,
you're
right.
in the ceiling or something, probably.
I don't know where you are either.
Oh, I think I went down too far. I think I'm. No, where am I?
And
Oh,
there are
I'm
those
over
things
here,
in
yeah.
the front that you can click.
You took a
Like, or
shortcut.
Yeah,
You can click the different floors on the side.
yeah. I landed on the where we fought the statue. Nice.
Okay. So, you guys, let's see. Arrived at this one. The smoke pouring as you're going through. You do look, and these stairs here are burned away and on fire.
No.
You do see that this platform is still acceptable. There we go. Just to make it kind of clear what I'm talking about. So,
Boy.
you guys know that the fall down is fairly treacherous. You could try to leap across. Someone could make an acrobatics check. Or if you are wanting to, you could try to find a way to force yourself down to the bottom floor. And going to the bottom floor would count as 2 successes if you are able to find a creative way to get down there.
I will sacrifice my rope.
But
I will
what about-
tie. I'm just.
I'm gonna. While you're doing that, I'm sorry. Just go ahead. I'm gonna do something while you're doing that, though.
I'm gonna tie my rope around this banister and hang it off the edge.
Okay.
Because it looks like it's
I will-
sewn. It looks like it's gonna be significantly strong.
I will have you either do it's going to be a DC 10 of either a sleight of hand or a survival check as you tie the knot around the banister there.
Does that come out? Bottom floor.
How about a 21?
Nice.
That's a success. So you make like a perfect knot. It's tight. You feel confident that this is gonna hold, and your rope, it's like 50 feet, isn't it?
Yes.
It more than reaches all the way down. It actually coils a little bit on the bottom floor. And that counts as 2 successes. You guys are now at 4 with 1 failure.
I'm going to yell at everybody. Come on, down the rope.
All right, what were you doing at this time, Herbert? You said you were doing
Yeah,
something else.
I'm taking the chest and I'm gonna run into the master bedroom and shove the chest in the dumbwaiter,
Ooh, I like it.
and then just push it all the way down. Or
It's tight, but you are able to fit it.
Just put
as you pull
herself
it-
to the dumbwaiter.
As you run into the master bedroom, you do notice that the corpse of Gustav Durst is no longer ghoulish. It's actually just a skeleton sitting there.
oh, well, that's comforting.
Yeah.
Can I snag the jewelry box on the way out?
Yes, you can.
Snatch that and just not even looking at it, just
Yeah.
rush.
If Graves is
I'm-
made aware of
I'm
Gustav's
impressed.
body, he'd probably grab it, but if not, he doesn't know. So
I'm impressed you remembered the freaking jewelry box.
same.
Okay.
But yeah,
Okay,
I'll
so
slide down the rope with everybody else.
let me take a look. Okay.
Wee.
We are now in the entrance hall. As you enter into this hall, you see that this entire floor, the fire of this fireplace has actually poured out, and there is raging fire going across it in intricate patterns.
Ah. Yikes.
So, Onyx, you had done the last one. Someone else will have to hopefully find a way to get across the room, either sneaking across or being able to find another creative way to help put out a lot of the fires,
Can I use,
or get around the fires.
Can you use
Uh,
prestidigitation to snuff out the flames in front of us as we go?
So thaumaturgy can also dim flames.
I can instantaneously.
With the dim
light-
flames, I always felt that was just the light.
Like that's what
Um,
more so seems.
Prestidigitation,
I can
it's
change
small
the
flames,
color.
right?
The effect says you can instantaneously light or snuff out a candle, a torch, or a small campfire.
This would be bigger than a small campfire.
Okay.
So, like, this is like a bonfire, like a decent size. It is like going across the floor in almost in tendrils.
Mm. Well, that's all my magic.
Onyx is
I-
like
I
messing
do-
with his
yeah.
knee, and it's like he's just smacking it because he's tightened up from the strength and whatnot. And he just kind of reaches in his bag and throws his water skin at Graves or Herbert, whoever's closest to him.
We all have a full one, right?
Yeah.
So we could all sort of when seeing Onyx take the lead on this, we would help out.
Well,
Okay.
I'm
I
working
don't
on. I'm.
He's trying to fix his body.
Yeah.
Oh, fix your body. I'm sorry.
So I just like
Yeah.
chucked it at whoever was nearest to me and
Mhm.
continued working on my body.
So as far as
I had
possible
instance.
suggestions for this, you can do either investigation in order to kind of look for patterns within the flame. You can cast if you know a first level spell, you can cast it for immediate success if you're able to make an argument for it being able to help you in this situation.
Yeah. I mean, I have false life. I can give myself extra hit points and run through, but only myself.
I have absorb elements, which
Okay.
would reduce damage from fire damage. But it's a reaction, and it's a reaction that I can take when I'm attacked by that sort of
Yeah.
element. But I do sort of absorb it and pull it into myself, and then I can use it as damage on my next attack. So maybe I could snuff out like a section of it if I take some damage from it. I only have
Okay.
4 hit points.
Is that a cast spell?
It's a spell, yeah. First level
Okay.
spell.
I'd allow that. That's makes sense that you'd be able to kind of like absorb it like into your hammer almost is how I'm imagining it. Like
And
like you would like with lightning or something.
were the
I do
windows barred?
Probably.
Yes, kind of like the old wrought iron ones.
Okay.
Wasn't totally uncommon in noble houses.
Is there
Keep
also
out the
any?
riffraff.
Is there any areas that are like not as much flame, but just more smoke and such, more dangerous?
No,
areas,
not
or-
in this section. This one is.
Okay.
So for that, I will have you roll an Arcana check. But if you're spending a spell slot, it's going to be a low DC, and it's basically how much damage you will take.
Okay, and I mean, I hate to also do this and also be the guy who's like, we need to grab the maid out of the dumbwaiter. So
Herbert?
I have an idea of something to follow up, and my idea would take a little bit, so it would give you time to do that.
Okay, what's your idea?
Like, I figured after he absorbs and redirects a bit of the fire, I was looking through my inventory. I guess I have a blanket in there. So I think I would catch the water skin, douse the blanket in it, and start beating down the flames as we're going through.
Because Herbert.
Okay,
you're out
yeah.
of spell slots, aren't you?
I am, but I can do this because it's part of my feat.
Okay.
Artificer feat. I can do absorb elements once per day without casting it or without using a spell slot.
So
Nice.
what I will do is I will have you do an Arcana check for the absorb elements.
Okay.
And then I'll have Conerith do a survival check for beating the flames back with it. Both are low DCs of 8. Good job.
Nice. Do I have to take damage for that?
What I was going to do is I was going to do 1d6 minus everything you got above it. So it'd be 1d6 minus 1 because you got a 9. So
And I do-
you
Wait, is that a? Oh, why did it show up as a? Oh, I'm so confused.
because I rolled my
They're at the
survival
same
check.
time, and you rolled the same
Yeah.
number. I was confused. But I get resistance to fire damage when I do absorb elements,
so you would take
right?
5 divided by 2 and rounded down, so 2 damage.
All right, I'm alive. I got 2 hit points.
Also, I have a plus 3
um,
on my survival, so I got 9.
Okay, awesome. So you are able to help beat the flames back. Who is grabbing the maid out of the dumbwaiter?
Hey,
Nice.
you tell us what
Yeah,
Graves he could go do it because he doesn't have to breathe or anything, so the smoke doesn't bother him.
yeah.
I mean, we all know it's
Graves,
not going to be
Graves,
Onyx.
please. Graves, can you grab the maid? She's in the dumbwaiter.
Oh, sure, absolutely. Graves will go grab the maid.
You run into there. It takes a little bit to get it out of the dumbwaiter, but you are able to. The smoke does not affect you as you are going. And with that, we have one final thing.
And
Hold
the
on.
door's locked.
Oh, okay. The entire house just disappeared. I was like, wait, where'd it go? All right. As you open up this final door, you see in front of you
Strahd von Zarevich.
scythes going back and forth. The house making its final effort to try and keep you within.
Hmm.
I
Do I
need
see this?
everyone to make an acrobatics check to get past this.
Oh god.
Oh, okay.
It is a DC 10.
Oh no.
Oh, okay.
Not good.
Is there any way I could, like, I've got a crowbar. Can I, like, jam that in somewhere to slow it down at all, or?
Roll me an investigation check or perception check to see if you can find a place.
Do a perception. So this plus 3. 16.
You think that you might be able to stop one or two of them, which would lower it from
Nice.
a 10 DC to a, I'd say, an 8.
Cool. That's better than nothing. Now here comes my acrobatics, which is a plus 2. 10 for Graves.
Can I guide myself on this?
If you're like, what's your god again? It's
Akari.
Akadi.
Yeah, if you're like Hakati, give me strength. Yeah, that makes sense. Like,
Yeah, it's because I know I'm fucked up, and I'm looking at this going.
Don't worry,
oh
Herbert. I
my-
got you. I got full spell slots, and I can heal max when you're at 0.
Okay. So this plus a D4. I don't know. Well, here's the D4. That's a plus. That's
Good.
good.
That's good.
Nice.
Hey.
Hey.
18 total.
I think it's
Okay.
just Conera.
But
And I have no bonuses to this, so just straight 10.
I assume then that Herbert took damage.
I mean, I got a 7. So
okay, you do take, because of the reduce, you would take 1d6 of slicing damage.
roll the 1. You'll.
You run through, and as you you get hit in the back, and it slices, and you are down on the.
Graves would instantly look behind, spend a spell slot, be like, Herbert, go! And cast Healing
Right.
Word. Which, because he's at 0 and I'm a Grave Cleric, it heals for the maximum amount of 7.
And I'd like to Coner, because he would be down at this point. Conerith was just ahead of him, kind of looking around his shoulder to make sure he was gonna get out. I'd like to whip around, just grab his ankle, and just try to yank him.
Okay.
Because I mean, he's down. If he gets straight back up, then I'm assuming he still has a pendulum swinging over him. So
Yeah.
He actually kind of sliced on his back, and he kind of fell
Oh.
through. So, that being said, you guys have escaped Durst Manor.
We're out.
Praise Alleluia.
Thank God. Try to get as far away from the house as
The house
possible.
is trembling behind you.
close all these doors.
As you're going, is there anything you guys do before leaving?
yes.
Can we bury the maid?
No.
Well,
Take some
find
distance.
cover first. And we could probably take the maid to Barovia, to be honest.
What does Onyx do?
Onyx is running back to the fucking stables where those two assholes that sent us in there were.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm following everybody else.
As you guys run into the stables, what the stables had appeared like to be a working stables at the time, it is full of cobwebs and completely run down. There is no one in here. You don't even see footprints in the dust when you had first come in.
Not even from us?
No.
Oh.
I hate this place.
As you enter, as you look here, you do see a small chest sitting here on the ground.
Chest. Let's see.
Don't trust it. It's a trap. There's no such thing as free loot.
Thaumaturgy. Does it open unlocked?
It does.
Yes.
Inside
And
you see a
as it-
maw of teeth and a tongue.
Mimic.
As it opens with the thaumaturgy, you suddenly hear magically amplified just a slow clap sound effect, and you see that there is straw with a couple of bottles and a letter within.
Oh.
These bottles look like the healing potions we have.
As you look in, you do see that 4 of them do look like the healing potions, and 1 is a bottle of wine.
Is a bottle
Well,
of
let's
what?
each take a healing potion.
Wine,
Or you
Oh,
said?
wine.
yes. 4 healing potions, yes.
Okay. So each take one.
And I have
Yeah.
2 healing potions.
Excellent.
Same. I think we all do now.
Same here, yeah. I really wanted to save mine.
Graves
I
will
trust
probably
the
then
Graves.
take the letter. But just this.
Okay. Let's see. Let me pull it up really quick.
Send it in handouts, I'm assuming.
Yes, I am.
Join our Discord. See our handouts.
They're freaking awesome.
I mean,
You
yeah,
see,
Anthony's handouts are
in-
legendary, just saying.
you see in exquisite handwriting, and it just says, "Visitors, thank you for clearing these vermin off of my domain. Your efforts are appreciated, even if for just one night. Please accept this small gift to aid your recovery. Welcome to Barovia. S."
Judging from the terminology used, this is that Dreadlord. What was his name? Strahd? Was that the name?
How on
Yeah.
earth would he know what we were doing?
It seems as though this whole Barovia, perhaps he engineered this entire thing.
Disgusting.
He's toying with us.
Or testing.
See what we're made of. See if we're a
See
real
if-
threat to him.
See our strengths, see our weaknesses. When I
Yes.
in previous encounters, I would stake out a mark for weeks to see what they were good at, what they were bad at, what they noticed, what they didn't. Or making a move.
I'm
Makes
sorry,
sense.
were you an assassin? I thought you were a soldier.
What is an assassin except a highly skilled soldier?
The only real difference is the assassin part of an army or something, or are they freelance? They're part of an army, they're a soldier.
Hmm.
There's a specialized one.
But if you are an assassin for the love of killing,
You can be a soldier for the love of killing as well.
I guess you're right.
It's really more so just the method used.
Have I ever shown you that I loved killing?
Not particularly, no.
No.
There you have
But
the answer.
if you were a good assassin, you would never would.
Okay.
Now listen, you've helped us enough. I'm not going to call your honor into question. Simply hypothesizing.
Yes. More so was just not what we expected. But Regardless. What time of day is it?
Dark.
As you exit, you look to the sky to see what time of day you believe it is.
The camera
And the
doesn't
rolling
turn that high.
clouds. The rolling clouds do not allow you to be able to see sun, moon, or star. Based upon the darkness, you would assume that it's in the evening. But without the sun to be able to guide you, the exact time is only a guess.
Well, I think it would be proper to provide this maid a burial before we continue.
Could we do it on this property, or, I mean,
She worked here, but it's also kind of sketchy.
she was also killed here
Yes.
by her employers, or by one of her employers at least.
Yes. I don't know enough about her to know where she would have liked to be buried.
Honestly,
Can we roll some sort of
probably,
insight check?
probably down with her child.
Well, that's
Yes.
a little difficult. At least if we bury her on the property, she'd be nearby to water.
What was that, Herbert? It sounded like you asked a question.
I was wondering if we could roll some sort of insight check to get an idea of what she might want.
I'm trained in insight, if that helps.
Insight or religion, depending on...
I have a good insight. I rolled a 5. That gives me a 10.
Ooh, yeah, that is a good insight.
I can roll religion.
Yeah.
I could also, because it's evening anyway. I'll let you do that. I was going to roll knowledge of the past life, but I won't bother wasting it.
So, Graves, you aren't really sure. You think that, well, probably the property would be best. Herbert, you are not sure of the customs of these people, but you know that burial is the most common, and that with your knowledge of nobility, you know that sometimes they had cemeteries as well as crypts below.
Maybe there's some sort of cemetery on the property already that we could... Because there is that section out back, looks like.
Yeah, so do a quick look. There's I should be able to lay that to rest. That's
Yes.
kind of my job. And I have means to ensure that, at least for the time being, she is not brought back as an undead.
All right. Well, let's do it quickly and then get out of this accursed place.
Yes.
I don't
Um,
think we're going back the way we came. I believe
Yeah.
the only way is forward.
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, I guess we quickly check for cemetery.
At this time, while they're discussing the burials and all that, Onyx has slowly creeped over to Kunerith and, like, suddenly just, like, goes and feels for her pulse.
Fair?
To Conerith or Graves?
Kunerith.
Okay.
Because now I'm curious.
Now you're paranoid. Hey, do you have a pulse?
Right.
Do you breathe? I don't think Onyx does either.
Well, I don't breathe, but I know I'm a machine. Like, I can tell I'm a machine.
What is a body but a machine of flesh?
Undisturbingly, there is a pulse. Somewhat disturbingly, there is absolutely no reaction from him. He's just glazed over. 1,000-mile stare, kind of. It might occur to you at this point that basically since we all started running, Conerith was
Autopilot.
mostly just on autopilot, just following through. But yeah, he does have a pulse.
That's so Onyx now is kind of giving Graves the side eye. Not sure he trusts Graves right now.
Okay, Graves doesn't really know anything about himself either.
But Onyx has worked with individuals that it kind of shell-shocked battle.
Hmm.
And so he's gonna look at Venareth and kind of shake his shoulder a little. And, hey, we still need you. There will be time to grieve later. But right now we are still in potential danger. And we need you in the here and now.
Right. And he looks down at his hands, seeing that there's still blood on them. It slightly came off with the water, and there's a mixture of the soot and smoke from the fire. And he remembers seeing a fountain in the courtyard. So at that point, he just kind of turns and slowly makes his way over to the fountain to wash his hands.
I also don't necessarily like. I want to keep an eye on Konereth for a bit because, like other soldiers that have been the shell shock, right now Konereth could be a liability. So he wants to keep an eye on him.
I assume eventually Graves finds this area over here.
Yes, he does, and he does see
Open
that there
grave
was.
here.
It appears that there had been a fresh grave dug recently, there had been a fresh grave dug at one point, but erosion and stuff has kind of brought it in over time.
Right. It's like, well, this should be fairly easy to clear. If you wish, you could, there's some rocks and bricks around. You could fashion a headstone if you wish while I perform the rites, which I can ritually cast ceremony, which takes 1 hour, which gives opportunity for a short rest. And one of the rites that I can do is a funeral, which ensures funeral rite. You touch one corpse, and for the next 7 days, the target can't become undead by any means short of a wish spell.
Mm.
So I will perform an hour-long funeral rite for the nursemaid as I take her out of the chest, do like some wrapping and placing the bones in the. I say maybe we'll kind of make the chest do as a coffin, I guess, if it's somewhat large enough.
Mm-hmm.
I'll kind of make do with what I have, obviously, but I will perform a funeral right as I arrange her in here, covered over. And of course, I guess I at the end touch the corpse and then I'll put it down and bury it.
Do you actually open it?
The chest?
Yes.
Yes, I have to touch the corpse to perform the rite.
As you open it up, you see that it doesn't really have a corpse in there. It's more so like bones and dust.
Okay.
Still burying her.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, at the end I will kind of touch the bones as I close and then throw the dirt back on. And that does take an hour, so people can short rest if they wish.
Is there a headstone that's like chiseled or carved or something like that here, like it appears on the map, or is it already like inscribed?
It does not appear that it's inscribed currently.
Okay, so that's what I would do with my short rest, is I would use my tools to scribe her name, Margaret. Did we learn her last name?
I believe Konereth had. Oh wait, yes, you guys did, because it was within the will.
Oh yeah,
Right, yes.
So
it was.
We don't know any dates or anything to put it on, but we can put on here. Lies near her son Walter or something like that.
a victim of a great tragedy.
Yeah.
Just nice stuff on there. But yeah, I'm gonna take a short rest while chiseling that into the headstone.
Yes, you would know that. Let's see.
about to say I'll take a short rest too. Was like I can't. I'm performing the
You would know
ceremony.
that her name was Margaret Martikov.
Martikov.
And we have a copy of it written down in that letter, so you can make sure you spell
Yeah.
it right.
I go over, find the letter, and make sure I spell it right and everything. But yeah.
Okay, so you guys are able to spend that time. Onyx and Kunareth, what are you doing during this time? Are you just going to kind of take advantage of the short rest? Are you investigating?
I am just gonna stick with Konareth. Make sure he is okay as can be. Sure he doesn't do anything stupid. But yeah, just kind of take advantage of the short rest and kind of recoup a little and in any
Konareth
downtime.
is
Oh, go for it.
Konareth is taking time to do a full cleanse. He actually takes off his outer clothing and washes it all in the fountain, washes his hands, sets his armor and everything aside and pulls out incense and burns that and kind of immerses himself in that. And he's just doing a full religious cleanse of everything that just happened, just trying to get it off of him and get back to a reasonable state.
After he performs the funeral, Graves probably would have at least noticed Konareth doing this and kind of clued in that Konareth's kind of traumatized with what happened and everything. He'll kind of come over to him one point afterwards, but like, my friend, I am sorry for everything that happened and that you had to experience that. If you wish at some point, I know that sometimes in these sorts of circumstances people will seek atonement. If you ever wish, I may perform a rite for you of atonement if you ever feel the need. Not that it mechanically would do anything, because for if you've switched alignments, but or I can also do a coming of age ceremony because you're a young man.
Maybe someday.
Thank you, friend. Maybe at some time in the future I'll take you up on that offer.
You know, I believe that everything that you did was hard decisions. I do believe that you did what you felt was best. Take solace in that, despite the fact that it was not easy decisions for a cheery experience.
It's been anything but.
It would
I
seem
don't-
so.
I don't believe that simply thinking with my best intentions is enough, but again, I appreciate the thought.
Your best intentions are not always perfect, but sometimes it's the best that we can do. Side note, Graves probably would have noticed the key on his neck by this point, I imagine.
Yeah, he's
Be
down
like-
to his skivvies.
Yeah, and like Graves has one as well, I believe, correct?
Yes,
Yeah.
Graves
Graves-
has one,
We kind
as
of like,
does Konareth.
But they're
Well,
different,
okay, like-
right?
do you have one of these now too that appeared after you died?
They look different, right?
Yeah, Graves
Yes.
has not really examined his yet.
Graves is a very ornate key, almost more similar to what you would see for like a jewelry box or something like that. Speaking of which, you do have the jewelry box.
Yes.
I'll have to pull notes up to see what was in that again.
I'll check it once I'm done with the engraving.
And the Konareth would have a simple iron key, almost looks like what a jailhouse key would look like. To kind of looks similar to this, but iron.
Oh, that's right. You have that real key. Right.
Yeah, for when I run in-person sessions.
I would also mentioned that I would fill my water skin from the fountain.
So I don't know if you can see this.
Oh yeah.
But it does kind of look like this, but made of iron instead. Just a simple key, but of significant weight.
Yes, I discovered this new burden upon reawakening. I don't know what it means. I don't know if it's of goodwill or bad will, honestly.
Same. My key looks different than yours, but it appeared at the same time. Did you have a vision as well?
It's fuzzy, but yeah. Yes.
I will clarify. They are crystal clear. You remember. It feels like you can remember every detail.
Doesn't
If
mean
you
he's
want to
gonna
say fuzzy,
hit it.
if you want to say fuzzy, that's fine.
Yeah, it doesn't
it
mean
just,
he hit it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it'd be like crisp detail, like to the point that, like, you don't know what dreams are, but it's like a memory.
Dream.
Yeah, I'm leaning more into an RP sense that right now his head's just fuzzy. Like
That's
if
fine.
If
I
he
just
tried to
want-
recall
I-
it later, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know if I had clarified that.
Yeah.
So
It's like your
Right.
mind doesn't really want to recover that memory.
Yeah.
So you're just like, I don't know, no thanks, it's fuzzy.
Yeah.
hmm
Grace would then say, like, in mine, there was a robed woman with white hair. She said something, I don't know what she said, or what it meant, but when I took her hand, that's when I woke back up. Did she appear in yours?
It wasn't the same person, but I believe I had a similar experience.
Not sure what they said meant. But Grace would say the phrase, Gary doesn't remember. But he's like, she said this before I took her hand.
To look at it to remember.
It wasn't.
Nymphs do answer a gift.
Yes.
That.
It wasn't any language I'm familiar with.
Neither am I. And I know a couple at least, not many, but a couple. I'm not sure what any of it really means, but
Nothing makes sense here.
that I agree. That being said, should we all get going, or do you all want to bunk down here for the night? We do know we're only, an hour outside of the town?
I don't imagine there's anything any better any farther down the road, but at the same time, I could not be farther away from here.
I agree. Herbert and Onyx? What do you think?
Let's get out of here.
Herbert, as you have been digging, you have not been completely alone. There has been a raven that kind of sat on this this wall. It having a she is the trying to think how to describe this. Ravens, as opposed to other animals, kind of show a sign of intelligence. So it's almost not like it's just watching you, it's kind of observing what you are doing. Can you roll me a perception check?
Poor thing. I feel like maybe if I had noticed it watching me while I was working, I might have just started talking out loud towards it.
Okay.
Just like, yeah, like what you see, this sort of stuff isn't easy, but it's perception, right?
Yeah. And it's kind of like, ah! I can't do a very good raven. Nevermore.
No, where'd you go? These ravens don't like. You're crow, right? Is that your crow?
It kind of cocks its head at you. It grabs like a
I never remember what the difference is between a crow and a raven.
So it's kind of cocking its head at you. It brings its one wing up, and you do notice that the tips of one of its wings it's kind of blue at the end, as opposed to the black.
That's some nice coloring you've got there.
It caws at you, and it kind of grabs a rock, and you can see it kind of it flutters down to the edge of here, and it kind of throws a rock into the grave, and then it grabs like a few more rocks and throws a bit over, and it kind of cocks its head at you and then flies away.
Thank you.
It was helping.
I'll break off a piece of my ration and lay it down, and we'll like sort of crumble it up and then just sort of toss it over in its direction.
It kind of picks at it, and it's like has its talon on there, and it kind of grabs it, and it's actually going to kind of fly over to you after doing that, and it's going to kind of land on your shoulder, and it's going to kind of nuzzle against the side of your face.
Oh, okay. You're not a normal raven, are you? I don't think anything here is normal. I saw a wolf turn into a big mist, like it just faded into mist. It was the weirdest thing.
It caws.
Yes.
Kind of a very loud caw. It's almost like responding to you. Like every time you say something, it just caws, but you don't know what it's responding.
Well, I've either got a new friend or a new spy. Not sure which, but what harm can it do?
It caws, and it kind of pulls against your hat a little bit.
Well, I don't see the harm anyway. It seems this Strahd character can tell what we're up to anyway. He left us a gift out front. I'll shake the potion bottles, and who grabbed the wine, actually? Did anyone grab the wine?
Oh, I don't
I
eat or
probably
drink,
would've.
so...
Same.
I would have grabbed it, I guess, because it's fancy vintage wine, probably. Or
It seems most like Herbert.
And the label would actually say, let's see, trying to remember the name of it. It would actually say Red Dragon Crush.
Red Dragon Crush. Sounds nice. Wonder, it sounds sweet, actually. I don't trust it,
orange
though,
and cream
so
soda as well.
I'm going to hang on to this for now, at least. Save it for a time when we might actually want to partake in it. Is it sealed? Like wax seal, anything?
Yeah,
or
it's a very nice cork bottle. It's the label is well maintained.
Red Dragon Crush, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right, well. Pop that in my inventory. But
Now-
yeah. Oh, sorry.
You would see, because it would have a vintage year.
Oh.
Let me double check.
Is it in the same, like, calendar, like, I don't know, what's the word for it? Like, format? As what
You
I'm
don't
used
know,
Yeah.
because it's just a 4-digit. Or it's just a number. It's not really a... It doesn't have, like, a month and everything like that.
like in 60 or something.
Mm-hmm. You see that the year it says 556.
What's the current year for us? I assume much later than that.
The current year, you guys would know that was around the year 870.
Ooh.
So like well over 1,000 years prior.
Or sorry, 970. So
970. So only like a few hundred,
So like 400-ish.
4 or 5. Yeah, but 400.
Yeah, it's like 410.
4. Yeah,
556. Was it?
415. 415.
no, 556.
556 is the year.
Oh, 556. So
And then
414. I think.
Yeah, so 556 is the year of the wine.
That is some vintage wine, my boys.
The year that was when you guys were last in the Forgotten Realms was 972.
416.
Well,
And I'll double check my math afterwards, but I believe that is the correct timing of everything.
well, the question I would have is because the letter said that it had been over 600 years since this vampire had taken over. So this was made after he took over, but still a really long time ago. So
Yep.
Well, I mean, gotta keep making wine, right? Got to do something to get through all this. But I think maybe Herbert is thinking about a potential spell that he can cast called Purify Food and Drink that might just make this a little
Just in
safer.
case.
That doesn't.
You drink it, you're a vampire now.
That doesn't like take out the alcohol, does it? If you do Purify Food and Drink, because it's technically poison.
Yeah, I
it just
don't
completely
think it
takes
would.
away the alcoholic aspect of it. It
It's
just
grape
is a liquid.
juice now.
Non-alcoholic wine.
Yep.
Yep. I'll pop that in the old inventory and take it over to the well with everybody else, as I assume Graves and I would be finishing our tasks at a similar time.
And how long do the temp hit point last then?
It doesn't say.
Doesn't usually say.
We'll do we'll kind of rule how Garing did the other night. If it doesn't say till a long rest,
Okay.
or they disappear, or they are taken off and damaged.
Yeah.
I'm gonna roll some hit die for my short rest as well.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, I was casting a spell the entire time, so I don't think I can, but I'm just at a few hit points is all I'm down.
The house behind you has settled. It looks just like a home that the lights have been turned off. It doesn't appear to be nearly as sinister as you know it to be now.
And it didn't like burn down or like collapse or anything like that
It
while we were.
did not burn down, no.
I don't suppose we could burn it down so that it didn't draw in any more
Would you like to try?
wanderers.
And
It'd certainly help you.
is this like where a statue was?
I think
That is
it's
a well.
It's a well. You
a
have
well.
to raise your
Okay.
thing.
Oh. Down to. Oh, I am down to. Hey, let's put that all the way to
Yep.
the top so it looks normal. Look, that tree has a top.
Whoa.
Conerith gets out once he has redonned all of his clothing and armor. He's going to start making his way over to the house of the tinderbox.
Okay. Roll me a survival check for starting a fire if that's what you're planning on doing.
Gonna burn down the
Try
whole
to burn
forest.
this place
We're just
down.
gonna burn down with the whole of Barovia in a forest.
The whole place is cursed, honestly.
Right. Curse of
Can I-
Strahd done. Vampires are weak to fire too, aren't they? There you go.
He
Can I-
is
It's done. We just
he's
forest
gonna
fire.
just go in there. It's like I'm leaving a Yelp review. Like, would not recommend. Barovia.
Yeah. 1 out of 5 would not recommend.
I'm gonna assist him with prestidigitation, and I'll dry out his tinder in case he needs it.
Well, he like
That was a 19
he
total.
starts hitting it, and as you, it's like the plants are wanting to catch on fire, and with the help of
Yes,
Herbert,
burn me.
it sparks, and the flame spreads like wildfire. It just starts to lick up the sides of the wall, the flames gathering higher, and you know that it will take quite a long time for this house to burn down, but every moment it's burning faster and faster.
Well, this would be a dramatic time to leave.
We walk away with the flames in the background, just outlining
Yeah.
our cool
Yeah.
posture.
Hmm.
Cool guys don't look at explosions.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Konerith is just gonna go straight around, start walking down the road like he's done
Yeah.
with this place.
All right, to
Okay.
town.
I am kind of interested in these buildings.
Short rest time.
These
We good?
are completely worn out buildings. It looks like they might have been servants' houses
Okay.
at one point.
I just took a quick look around then.
Yeah, you see nothing of value. No,
Weren't we heading like
no.
this?
Oops. I dropped myself
Yes.
off the map.
Oh, we're heading the other
You
way.
guys were heading from this way down because you guys met Rose and Thorn right here
Oh.
at the entrance.
So we were going this way.
Yes.
Okay.
Now, the walls of mist that had been originally surrounding you, they are starting to clear,
Oh.
and you do see that the road ahead of you kind of continues straight forward. Based on the description that had been given to you by Stanimir, you know that you don't have very far to go, perhaps a mile, maybe more. You crest a small hill, and you see in front of you the namesake, the Valley of Barovia. The village on its bottom, looking quaint, but it has a constant specter above it, the looming tower. You recognize this as it matches the dollhouse you saw in the children's room. A beautiful fortress looming above. I have shared an image of it. This is not mine creation, but this is what you see ahead of you. This village under the constant oppression of Castle Ravenloft. And that's where we're going to take a bio break.
Can you also move my token back onto the map, Reno? I'm not able to.
We are going to be gone off this map, so I will not.
Cool.
We ain't coming back here.
Alright, so bio break, and we will see you guys back in like 10?
Yeah, so look at this beautiful image, just to kind of get the scale of what you guys are seeing.
Oh yeah.
Give me some Dark Soul vibes.
Yeah. But
Right. So bio
I
Um,
love that the silhouette of that castle.
yeah. Okay.
Right, we are back.
Welcome back. We had just left our clerics as they saw the looming tower of Ravenloft over the small village of Barovia. We are going to be returning to them there. You guys are about a mile out. As you guys do crest this hill, you do see a small sign off to the right side of the road that's a bit overgrown, but it is very visibly a sign that is sitting there.
I suppose we would read the sign.
On the side closest to you, there's nothing. As you walk around the edge, you just see an arrow pointing up the road that you had just come from, and it just says, "Death House, don't talk to the children."
Oh, well, it would have been ideal to
Well,
come from this side, I suppose.
why wouldn't they put a sign on the other side?
Maybe, perhaps these wolves or something come along and pull the stakes out of the sign. Who knows?
Not they put it in the middle of the road.
They're not permitted in the road, but
Laws could be different here.
who knows?
I would have loved to have known that beforehand, though.
Right?
Well, at least they take care of their own, I suppose.
Yes, that's something at least.
If anything, the sign's
that
redundant
would-
now. There's no
Yeah.
need for it.
Yes. Unless if perhaps we weren't the first to go through and such, perhaps it might come back. Maybe others have burnt it down before. Who knows? Regardless, I'm not planning to go back there.
Rose had mentioned that other adventurers had been through, but none of them had taken their bones with them. So perhaps the other adventurers were a little bit more self-centered and just left.
Perhaps they didn't survive as well.
Oh, that's certainly true. I mean, did you see that pile of skulls?
There was quite a few.
It was prodigious.
Although I didn't really see much what we'd assume adventurers would have, like armor and sword. But who knows?
Do
I'm
you
sure that was
still?
cleaned up.
I noticed, Herbert, you grabbed that awful amber out of there. Do you still have it?
Oh, no, I didn't
Oh.
grab the amber. I grabbed this little coffer. Contains a locket of hair, or lock of hair.
Also, do you still have a raven on your shoulder?
Oh, yes, do I still have a raven?
Yes, it has continued with you.
Yes, I see you made a new friend as well.
Yes. Not sure if they have a name or not. But it's got a blue wing. Look at it. Pretty.
Interesting.
Presumably, if we still have one of the items from in the mansion and it hasn't disappeared, then it would stand to reason that what we did there had a permanent effect.
It didn't reset or anything.
Perhaps. Do I still have it? Actually, did I actually pull it out when I said that? I would have tried to.
Yes.
Do I still have the item that I grabbed out of the?
Oh, yes, you do. That
There.
was the jewelry box, correct?
Jewelry box. I grabbed that, and I also grabbed the coffer
locket of
with
hair.
the locket of hair.
Yes, so you do still have them. The jewelry box, while it had been very new, as you pulled it out, it looks like you pulled it out of an ancient tomb. It is full of grime, and it looks like it really needs a good restoration.
Yeah, nothing I can't handle. Does it contain anything that seems to be of a value?
Yes, it does. Let me pull up.
What I can do with funding?
Okay, you see that there are 3 gold rings within.
3 gold rings.
I thought about trying detect magic, but I didn't.
A
I'm assuming
thin-
they're probably not.
There is a thin platinum necklace with a topaz pendant.
Okay.
And yeah, those are the only things of significance within there.
If we want to take 10 minutes, I can cast Detect Magic and see if we can make sure that there's no ill will against these items.
That's understandable.
Yes, that's fine.
I know we're all tired and need to get on to the next town, but I'd hate
10
to
minutes is a fine break.
Yes.
Not long.
So I will ritually cast Detect Magic, because I do have that prepared.
Right on.
Okay, so as you cast Detect Magic, you are kind of scanning for anything within the jewelry box. None of these have any magical capability whatsoever.
They're just valuable.
I I before answering anything, I do a quick look around. Just because I think it's what is it within 30 feet? Yeah, 30 feet
Yeah.
of us.
Maybe those keys are magic.
Hmm.
Or
My
that
bird
hair. Yes, his weapon.
Familiar?
You said you did a quick look around.
Yeah, I'm just kind of like scanning over us, around us. So anything within 30 feet should glow.
Yeah, and we can assume you would have gotten your weapon back from me, Herbert, at some
Yeah.
point.
Yeah.
You guys.
So obvious,
do not-
like the weapon and like potions if they count.
Yeah, aside from like your guys' actual gear, you do not see anything that is glowing.
Does the bird glow?
It does not.
Do the keys glow?
It's not a familiar.
And are the keys
Hopefully.
glowing?
Oh, keys.
Ooh. Let me take a look.
And the coffer's not, right?
It doesn't. No, the coffer
Yeah,
does not.
you'd see an aura. So,
What? Sometimes the Google back, like the. It's just weird. Like sometimes the Google how finishes your question.
yeah.
Let's see. They do not light up.
Okay. So unfortunately, it looks like we only have, well, fortunately or fortunately, however you want to look at it, we did not escape with any new magical things. Everything here is ordinary. Worth money.
Yeah. Did we get a valuation on the items in the jewelry box, or do we have to take those to a jeweler to find out?
You'd probably have to take those to a jeweler unless you would like to. Probably.
I mean, I might be able to. I would probably
Herbert
know a lot
would.
about.
Yeah, Herbert would be the best person for that. You do have. Is there a value? There's not a value skill. Is there a value spell within?
I mean, there's a spell that has to do with distorting the value of an item. It's called distort
Yeah.
value, like, ironically, but
Probably
I mean,
identify.
identify maybe, because it's mainly for magical stuff. But let me see. It tells me all the properties, right? Let's see.
This is where the appraise skill comes in from Pathfinder. That it's also almost never rolled.
Yeah, I know. It just feels like an oversight in 5e.
Yeah.
Yeah, the only thing identify does, rules as written, is
Yeah.
identify if it's a magical item and what its properties are. So it doesn't do anything to mundane items unless you want to be, like,
For now, we will do
great.
an intelligence check plus your proficiency, just based
Okay.
on your
So I can
background.
just roll investigation then. Because I am proficient in that. Basically the same thing. Oh, I'm not.
Or
I'm not in
history.
Tailspire. Oh yeah, history too.
Because we're waiting on GM, we can't roll in.
How do we?
Tailspire.
How should I roll?
Yes, let me.
If you roll, though, we should be able to see it in chat log.
You guys have seen Barovia in the distance. I'm okay with you.
Okay.
Oh.
I did turn off the auto rolls, so it'd take me a minute to turn that back on. But I'll roll a history check. I like the sunniness.
Right.
Oh, this is normal.
Yeah.
This is, we're in Barovia.
Yeah, this is Barovia, unfortunately.
Yeah, I realized I hadn't applied it to the game board.
I
He's
got an
like,
11.
oh, it's nice and cheery. Oh,
Uh,
never mind.
So you know that the jewelry box would be worth more than 50 gold.
Okay.
You
Would
think
be
that
more
the
if it was restored.
yes.
Okay.
You believe that the gold rings would be worth at least 15 gold pieces each?
15.
Yes. Because they're not just simple gold rings, so it's not just the weight of the gold. It's like they're actually shaped. So it's worth more than melting them down.
Right.
And then the platinum necklace, you believe, is worth more than 600 gold.
Ooh.
What day it
Now,
is?
who can afford to buy that from us is the thing.
Right. This may be more important than the gold that it's worth, too. Possibly.
Yeah.
Maybe. Who knows?
We'll see.
Okay.
Yeah, that's cool.
Do you guys do anything before actually approaching the village?
Got my lantern out.
I'll look to, I guess, Edgar, we'll call him for now. And I'll say,
Took me a minute.
hey, Edgar, uh, should we just walk into this town, or are we gonna be like attacked, or like are you gonna come with, or I'm sort of inciting the Raven to see if it's gonna like leave as soon as we get in, maybe.
It kind of caws, but doesn't make any attempt to fly away.
Yeah. All right. Well,
Well,
s-
on into
You
town
step
then.
you step onto the first cobblestone, immediately flies away.
well, all right.
Right, on into town then. Are we coming from? Yeah, this area over here.
So there's a woman in front of us.
Ah, no.
You
Wait.
guys
Oh.
do see a woman in front of you. Let's see. Oh,
With green hair, apparently.
Uh-huh.
It looks like the guild master from our LARP.
so
Katya. She has green hair. Or greenish bluish, I guess. I don't know. It's been a couple weeks.
let's see. So as you walk in, you see that there is a woman ahead. She has a cart that she is with her. She is talking to someone in the doorway, and she hands them something from the cart and then begins walking towards you. She doesn't appear to have seen you yet, and she's just pulling a cart. Looks like she's heading to the next house. As she approaches, you do see that it is an elderly woman. She looks like she is probably in her mid to late 50s. But that her life has been quite hard, and it has taken its toll upon her.
I would quickly throw up my hood and fall to the back of the group.
Rage will kind of take the
quickly
front.
throw
off the mat.
Fall to the back of the group. Boom. Up. Hold on.
And again, that
I
happened to me
got
today
it.
again.
Okay.
Yeah. Grays will begin approaching. Be like, hail there, ma'am.
You're going to see her kind of look up, and she's going to kind of pull her hood back a little bit. She has kind of a graying dark hair. And she's going to see you by, oh, hello. I've not seen you before. What village are you from?
I'm from somewhere called Bowshot, and it's quite far from here. Me and my friends are all from far from Barovia.
When you say that, she does kind of glance around and she's like, "Oh, well, I'm sorry. You're not Barovian."
I mean, to be fair, it's been a long time since I've been where I came from. I can't even quite remember where it was, but
"Hmm,
no,
You,
we just entered Barovia, the valley, not long ago.
yes, it's a dangerous place.
We've noticed.
You must be starving. I sell uh pies. Me and my sisters
Oh,
do. We always yeah, come. And she kind of waves you over. Uh, you're coming.
Graves would like to. Graves is kind of getting a little paranoid of everything around here now, so he might kind of see if I could roll insight, see if what I
Yeah.
think of this woman, because she kind of just like, oh, you're not from Barovia? Oh, come. Kind of seemed almost mixed emotions.
Yeah, I was gonna say that was my question was, did I feel like she was uneasy that we were not Barovian, or that it was just a typical question?
So Graves, for your insight,
25.
you believe that the question, the "Are you not Barovian?" was a genuine one. That she thought you were a Barovian citizen that she just had not met, and was surprised that you were not from Barovia. So the as
She
far
knew.
as her reaction, like as far as her selling the pies and everything, you believe her to be telling the truth that her and her sister sells pie to the
All right.
surrounding people, and she waves you forward as it's a dangerous place of the village of Barovia. We get adventurers like you every so often, perhaps, but we try to look out for each other around here.
And Garian's also just paranoid because, current events in the campaign that I'm
Yeah.
running. It's like,
Call,
old lady.
call me Granny. That's what
Granny.
everyone around here calls me. Just an old
Pleased to
woman.
meet you.
That's yes.
No.
I am selling pies, and with adventurers, I know that sometimes you bring gold. Would you like to buy some?
I personally have no need myself and am short on change, but perhaps one of my companions.
Here, I always tell people the first one's free. You'll taste it, and you will want to come back.
All right. We'll take one then, I
Some,
suppose.
yeah. What kind would you like? I have a few different kinds. People in Barovia, they even say that uh, they're so good they almost teleport you out of this terrible place.
Yeah. Look back towards Conervas. Do you have any favorite pies, my friend?
I
You are
have,
muted. Cole is
I,
muted.
I have meat pies. I have vegetable pies. We mostly have root vegetables in Barovia, but so like potatoes, turnips.
I was just gonna say as a joke, like when you would, in the time that it would take you to turn around and look at Conerith, by the time your eyes meet him, he already has a pie in his mouth, and he's just like shoving it.
When she said it
I'm joking, of
teleports
course.
away,
What was that?
I was just asking if the trigger for that was when it said she said
Yeah, it just teleport you out of this place.
Yeah.
It's like, get me out of here.
My reaction is almost. Unfortunately.
Yes, if the dreams, I guess.
Oh, this
God,
gives you
I don't-
dreams?
I don't dream.
Yes, my mother's recipe. Spark of magic in it.
Out of game, do I recall, because it's been so long out of game, were we told by the Vistani to mention here that we're looking for Madame Eva?
They didn't tell you. They just said like, head this way. You'll find Madame Eva. You'll run into the village of Barovia, which is
Okay.
in the valley of Barovia.
All
Um,
right then. Graves would be like, friends, we were looking for someone, correct? Do you think we might find them here?
Suppose we could ask around. I'm sure someone knows
Yes.
her.
Well, Granny, would you perhaps know of we were told by the people who gave us a ride to the area. They had uh an acquaintance here named Madame Eva, and that maybe someone to seek out.
when you mention the name Madame Eva,
This is a go. This
you
could go either
see
way.
her slight smile, like it's not like a huge beaming smile, it falters slightly. She's like, "You said the people who drove you here, I'm
Yes,
guessing the Vistani.
yes, that would be them.
Ooh, that can be a dangerous lot. Madam Eva, I passed by their camp on the way back to our windmill. It
Barely
is
picking you up, by the way.
I passed by their camp on the way back to mine and my sister's windmill. It is at a place called the Serpool.
Right?
I don't think they ever mentioned it.
No, just that we would be able to find her if we went this way. Windmill. Does your windmill perhaps have any relation to the Durst family?
Ooh, you, oh, like, and she's going to kind of, how close are you to her? Are you keeping
Um,
like a 10-15 foot distance
no,
between
I'm
you,
probably
or?
more like a respectable kind of like 5 foot or so, like regular conversation distance.
She's going to be like, "Oh, no, like you ran into the death house," and she's going to kind of like hug you. And
Like, oh,
she's
yes.
going to she's going to be like, "Uh, You all survived?
Yes, unfortunately, we didn't see the warning until after we had passed.
Oh, my poor. I'm so sorry. It's too dangerous for us to travel past the house. The wolves, they push back against us.
We ran into them as
It's
well.
but here, you must be starving." She's going to grab a pie out for you.
Graves not really needing to eat, well, I guess kind of nibble on it a little bit to be polite.
Um, and when you nibble into it, it is delicious. Like the
Yeah, 'cause
pastry
I can
is like,
assume I can still taste. I just don't need to eat.
yeah, it's like it's nice and flaky. The gravy inside is like nice and creamy. The potatoes and stuff are cooked to perfection,
I mean,
and the
I
meat
do
is
not
nice and
trust it.
tender.
Out of game, I do not trust it. That sounds too good to be from Barovia. But
But
sure, Graves nibbles on it. Yeah.
and you, young man, she kind of looks over at Bert and she's like, "Oh, looks like you've made a friend." As she looks at the raven on your
Oh,
shoulder.
yeah, so I guess I'm sort of a nice guy, so you're just
I have no reason to
following me
disagree
around.
with that statement.
The raven, can you roll me an insight check, Herbert?
Sure, sure. I'm not great at that, even though I'm a cleric. Um, oh boy, insight. Not awful actually. 10.
The raven appears to not like it as you get closer to Granny.
Hmm. Well, thank you, but no, thank you. I've got to be honest. I'm not really keen on having any dreams or altered state of mind right at the moment. Um, I wish to sort of keep my own wits about me.
That's understandable. I'm sorry if I'm startling your bird. Some ravens, they like me and some don't.
Well, I'm sure he'll warm up to you eventually.
Mm, maybe.
How long have you been here in Barovia, if I may ask?
Ooh, are you asking my age?
Barely caught that.
Uh,
Son.
Are you asking my age?
Oh, well, listen, I'm not asking your age, just how long you've been here. If it's more than
Your whole
y-
life, or only a couple of years.
so you're saying you weren't born here, perhaps?
Yes, I've never been outside of Baroque.
Hmm.
My mother, bless her heart, raised me and my sisters to uh, continue the family business of baking our dream pastries.
Oh, family business, I see. Your mother
Yes,
and do you have siblings, you said?
yes, my sisters.
Ah, yes. Sisters, no brothers, nothing?
No, I do not have brothers.
Well,
Hella sketch, man. Hella
who needs a man?
sketch.
Who needs a man anyway, you know?
Says the guy to a group of 4 guys. Or I guess one's a runs a robot.
Um, you there with the um pale skin? Did you looked like you were hungry? Did you want one?
Uh, Quinarith just smiles gently and walks up and takes a pie from her. He doesn't like eat it right away, just kind of steps back
Yeah.
behind
Then,
Graves.
like I said, the first one I usually give for free. After this, though, I do sell them for 1 gold apiece.
And gold.
One, yeah, only gold, I suppose. Well,
Goodbyes.
quite lucrative.
Yes, I usually come here um every
Women.
4 or 5 days.
Hmm. Can Herbert make an insight check on what he knows about the underlings of society and perhaps like the cycles of drug use and with maybe
Yeah,
dosage
I
patterns?
say a medicine check.
Okay.
Yeah, and say so far Graves, I guess, has no reason to distrust her. Like, this is back in Barovia, but man, she's too nice. Like, there's something up here.
When you get to Barovia and you're just like,
Nat 20.
Herbert with the medicine check. Okay, so what are you looking for exactly with these pies?
I'm
Assuming, like,
thinking about she mentioned dreams. You get dreams from them.
Mhm.
And probably what I know about, things that you eat and then you dream, it's some sort of psychotropic sort of deal. So he's thinking like
Now,
these could be like mushrooms, or like
so okay, when you are what you know of psychotropics, um, man, I actually have like the knowledge of like the drug stuff with the because I
Yeah,
was
because
in
you
it
used to
might
be a
I I
like
studied substance
yeah,
abuse, so I'm
might be
like,
more
I
of
can
a
yeah.
actually use this.
hallucination or hallucinogen maybe.
Yeah, so
Yeah, it's
with what you know, because you lived in Waterdeep, big city, so obviously has its share of drug problems. From what you know of it, typically when it was a hallucinogenic, it would affect people while awake as well as when they are asleep. However, you've seen Graves eating some of this as well as Conereth starting to eat it, and they don't seem to be affected by it right now. So you aren't entirely sure what this is, but you believe that it might be something less chemical and more spiritual of some kind.
If
Or
it's In which case, if
Oh.
it's actually dreams too, the two guys that ate it can't dream.
Right?
I do want to say
So-
Quinaerith took the pie, didn't eat the pie. He's just kind
Oh,
of
he
standing
hasn't?
there
Okay.
holding it. Yeah.
And Graves has only eaten like a bite or so, just to kind of be polite,
Mm-hmm.
but still.
Yeah. No,
Huh?
I'm just gonna think that for now and just
Yeah.
I'll keep quiet. But I will sort of try to look towards Konereth to try and see if maybe he'll try to talk to me so I can establish a connection at least.
Mm.
I'll sort of like look at him and like press my temple, and then I'll go, wait, oh wait, that doesn't work. And then I'll just look at him all like super obvious, like
Quinaerith will spend an action. I think I've done this before, but I'm not sure if you remember. Quinaerith
Yes.
can actually use an action to give you the ability to speak back to him telepathically. So he does that and says, what's the matter, Herbert? You can talk to me in your head. Just think."
oh, excellent. Thank you so much. I just don't trust this lady, and neither does the bird for some reason. And I think that's significant because the bird is from here. So, I don't know. It could go either way, I suppose, but I don't know. The bird seems cool.
Seems nice
PQ.
enough. I've never been a very good judge of character, but
Well, I can't say I have been either, but you all seem nice.
I mainly just took the pie to be nice. She seems like a really nice lady.
Gonna same for Graves, but he's not in this conversation.
Yeah, too nice for this place. It's just it's so out of place, and I don't know, with everything with that house, it just seems like everything's against us. So I'm not really sure who to trust at the moment.
It's
Yeah.
curious she's the only one that we've met so far. This isn't a huge place, but there's a lot of homes. I'd almost wonder if maybe we should try to quickly find a place of rest and reach this place in the morning when perhaps less seedy characters would be about.
That was gonna be Graves next.
Yes,
I think
mine
he was
is
gonna
as well.
ask her if she's like, "Where's an inn?" Is there one?
I mean, you can ask. That'd be we're having this conversation. while
Exactly.
you're
He'd probably
talking
be
to her,
asking
so-
that during because I was
Yeah,
next. So
like, as we say that, he just asks.
Graves is like,
"Oh,
Granny, do you perhaps know if there's an inn here in town somewhere that we can rest?
There's only one. It's Blood on the Vine Tavern.
But on the vine. Do you know
Straight
where-
ahead and to your right. It's at the big intersection ahead.
thank you very much. We've had quite
I'm-
the day.
Yes, it's getting quite late. I must finish my rounds.
Of course, we'll leave you to
it-
that.
What was your name?
My name? They call me Graves.
Graves. Yes, you. I'm sorry. You just look very familiar. I don't know
Oh.
why.
Graves will definitely take note of that.
Braves will
Wow.
remember that.
Graves remembers this. Out of game, Gary is like, this woman is sketchy as hell. Also, the
She's
fact
going
that
to-
last night in the homebrew that I'm running with a couple of these guys, they met a hag in disguise. And she's all like, "My sisters," and now this woman's like, "Sisters," and I'm like, Ray.
Literally yesterday.
"Is this a coven again?"
She's going to kind of take her cart and seeing the onyx in the background, she would be like, "Does your friend want a pie before I continue?"
I don't say anything. I just shake my head, keeping my face
He's
turned.
He
Down.
doesn't eat.
he doesn't eat very much.
Oh,
Yes.
okay. Hmm,
Lovely meeting you, Granny.
is
We're going to go find
Well,
ourselves some rest.
when you say he doesn't eat, she kind of looks over at him
I meant a
with
lot.
a
you know,
mixture
yeah,
of
We did
concern
say
and fear.
doesn't eat very much.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought you said he didn't eat.
No, he doesn't
I-
eat very much. He's a quiet
Right.
one.
All right. Well, I will see you around. And
Yes.
you ever want to buy more pies, feel free to just, if I'm in town, stop me, or if you're traveling, you can talk to me or one of my sisters at our mill. She's going to walk away with her cart. She's stopping at houses. You see that she is knocking
Yeah.
at some of them.
As we continue walking, kind of go around the corner, Graves, lead up to Herbert. I don't know if I trust her because it's Barovia and she seems very nice. Also, the Dest owned a mill, and that
Yes.
seems like a odd connection to me.
I mean, we now possess the deed to the wheel,
Yes,
to
that's
the
true.
mill.
Also, this pie is
Also,
very tasty, but I
Mhm.
don't need to eat, and I'm concerned. So I'm just going to wrap it up and not eat the rest.
you
I just
know,
wanted to be polite. Would you
maybe
like
I,
to look at it, examine it once we get a room, of course?
of course, yes. I, I would love to try to identify that as
Of
well.
course. I can help you. I have quite the expertise in medicine as well.
You did mention a magical secret, I believe, or some sort
Yes,
of
I think she
secret
did.
recipe. So perhaps I
Well,
could learn something.
yes. This looks like the place, I suppose.
Yes,
Um,
we head down the
as
street,
you go,
right?
let's see. Yep. You are walking forward. Most of the houses around you are silent. They appear empty or abandoned. Windows are kind of caved in, a lot of them. A lot of the glass isn't complete. As you do walk forward, you do see that a sign hanging from this building over here that says Bildrath's Mercantile.
Well, there's a store here.
General store.
And then as you look to your right, you see what appears to be a tavern with no lights pouring out a door here with a sign hanging above it. As your lantern brings light upon it, you see that it is indeed called Blood on the Vine Tavern. I
Odd
will.
name.
This is the sign that you see ahead of you. Can you guys roll me uh, perception checks?
Mm,
Absolutely.
I think I know what we're trying to perceive.
3 plus 3 is 6.
What was it you think you're trying to perceive, Herbert?
The the middle, the N.
Yes, that is what you're trying to perceive. So you automatically
Yeah.
succeed perceiving
Okay.
that.
Is it actual blood?
It says it actually says blood of the vine, but it's rewritten perhaps in blood.
Ah,
Not sure about that
Based
part.
on your knowledge
I
of
see that.
materials, it is paint.
Okay.
It's just red paint to try and match.
Yes, this is not nearly dark enough for blood. It would have turned more copper by now.
No, Graves
Yeah,
knows blood.
but that is exactly what you were trying to do, and that is where we'll end tonight's session.
Right. Granny sketches the hell out of me.
So
She was nice.
I guess I'm. What
Boy.
what was the notice? What?
So on the sign, I shared it in the handouts. It has Blood on the Vine Tavern, but looking at it, it appears that the N was added afterwards to change the name from Blood of the Vine.
Eerie and just slightly a little more unsettling, I'd say.
Mm.
But
So
yeah.
that is where we will end tonight's session. Uh, thank you everyone for watching through, and we will see you in 2 weeks as we approach deeper into the village of Barovia
Alrighty.
and see if
I think
everyone
that's
is
it.
just as nice as Granny.
Yes.
Probably not.
Alright, have a good night, guys.